today we're going to give the ladies a break and focus on the men so we can do what's important in our lives. If I'm being honest with you, XXs are not important at all. Most of them serve no other purpose in 2022 than to have their 10 toes up and their legs on our shoulders. That's pretty much the best that modern XXs has to offer. So we have to put them into their proper perspective and realize that most of them can't do anything for you. Their purpose is to find some way to rob you of your resources and get you locked up at best. And when you look at the risk versus rewards, you can clearly see that dealing with them seriously is a losing battle, and you will pay the price at some particular point. All men pay when dealing with women. More often than not, a huge bill will be attached after you've been inside their bodies. With that said, we are going to set men straight today and bring the heat, so if you're a man that is easily offended, I would advise you to go and watch some of our other videos, because I want you guys to realize that all it takes is one mistake, and it's curtains for the rest of your life. One mistake can change the entire trajectory of your life, either positive or negative, but usually negative. For example, one of my biggest mistakes was getting into a relationship with my ex. If I hadn't gotten into a relationship with her, I probably wouldn't have wasted my 2 years in college getting no wet vice grip. However, that mistake led me to the RP, and now here I'm trying to save you guys from the modern woman, so I took a negative and turned it into a positive. Had I knocked up some broad, well, that would have been a different story, and I probably would have been effed for the next 18 to 21 years financially, so hopefully that doesn't happen. This is why I'm going to caution men in their 30s to be extremely careful and stay away from relationships with women. Highly likely in your 20s, you struggled all the way through your 20s until now you're in your 30s, and things are a bit easier, or at the very least, you can afford to put a roof over your head and provide for yourself. If you still cannot thrive in this economy, that's okay. As long as you are willing to work multiple jobs and sacrifice, you can reach a stage where you can get through each month with a little bit of savings. I don't want you guys to be in the red or break even every month. That is somewhere you do not want to be with this upcoming recession. I understand if you made any of the mistakes I'm going to list, and that's why you are still broke and struggling. You'll still need to find a way, slowly but surely, out of that situation because things are about to get pretty bad real quick. All of you guys should strive to have at least 3 months worth of your monthly expenses in cash at your home in case things get bad and the banks freeze your money. Look at what's happening in China. The same thing could very well occur everywhere else in the world where people cannot take their money out of the bank due to the banks not having enough money to give to their customers. Not only that, but look at rising gas prices and food shortages that are right around the corner. Have you bought enough long-lasting non-perishable foods and stored it at your home? I bet you that more than 80% of people watching this video right now don't have 3 months worth of food supplies in case of an emergency, but you're worried about getting some peace leave. Men, you should have bottled water, canned fish, canned chicken, canned or dry soup, dried or canned vegetables, boxes of granola and protein bars, pasta, rice, oats, nuts and seeds, and dried and canned bean at the very least. Most of you forget that you live in major cities and you don't have chickens running around the yard that can provide you with food. Most of you guys have never planted anything a day in your life, but here you are worried about OS and finding the love of your life. Man, F all that BS and get your priorities in order. You men seem to forget that women have gold between their legs, so they will survive. They will find some man to take care of them, highly likely. And the government will try to ease some of the economic pressure off them. What do you guys have? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Unless you're willing to take the banana up the tailpipe, which I don't advise any man to do, then you'll manage to scrape by. But as a man that is not on that side, the only option you have is to find an old gremlin feet sugar mama or work your butt off. So what's it going to be? It's time for you guys to realize it's not a joke out here, and very soon, many people's lives could be flipped upside down if we enter a recession. The last thing you need to ensure that you have going forward is a consistent source of income. This is a priority right now because without a job or a business that's generating profits, it's game over for you. I know most of you guys have zero control over whether or not you get fired, but if you can manage to work 2 jobs, then do it. If you are sitting at home jacking off to prawn and your fridge is empty, you need to get the F off your couch and deliver some food for a restaurant. If you are living paycheck to paycheck even with a degree, and you're too proud to be seen at McDonald's, when you get laid off and you're broke, then serve you right. The only exception is if your hours are so crazy that you can't work extra hours, then I'll give you a pass. But you can use the food delivery apps and make a couple of bucks in your free time. So get off your ass and go work. The window is closing, gents. Now is not the time to be prideful or lazy. What do you have to do to survive out here in these streets? Nobody is coming to save you, always remember that. Besides those, I would say cut back on all unnecessary expenses and pay off as many debts as possible. The less dead weight you have, the better. Now I think I've given you enough warnings. Let's dive into the mistakes that men in their 30s are making. The first mistake that men in their 30s make that destroys their lives is they are chasing OS. Look, gents, the peace lead isn't all that. I have to let you guys know that busting a nut in some wet vice grip is not the end-all be-all of life, and it is certainly not something you should chase to get. Modern women do not provide anything of value 9 times out of 10, and peace leave is likely to leave you in debt, or with an itchy scratchy before it gives you an asset, so you horny guys need to chill. When you go monk mode for months or years, it will put women in their proper perspective and let you understand that what you're chasing doesn't have much value. Then giving you a feeling of bliss for a couple of seconds, and that's it. Ask yourself, if I choose to spend the rest of my life chasing and piping down peace leave, what am I going to get out of it? Let me tell you what you'll get: an itchy scratchy, kids, child support, possible jail or prison time, euphoria for a couple of seconds, debt, poverty, stress, chaos, turmoil, possibly death, and the list goes on and on. Now, look how many cons were in that list versus the pros. Is that what you want for your life? Brothers, peace leave is not important and should not be something to strive for no matter what. Chasing modern women will lead you nowhere and yield no positive returns, so my advice is to chase God, money, excellence, or anything else that can give you a better quality of life. Women aren't it. You were not put on this earth to chase and please women with your one life. So heed my warning and leave modern women alone. Give your money up and pay for what you want from it. That is the best advice that I can give to you. The second mistake that men in their 30s make that destroys their lives is getting married in their 30s to modern women. I don't know why a man would get married at all, but I know some of you will fall into temptation and sign your resources, future earnings, and life away to an ungrateful bitch that will divorce grape you to kingdom come and take you to the cleaners, highly likely. So again, why would any man watching this video get married to a woman who obviously doesn't want to be a lifetime partner? Stick by your side and carry out her duties until the Grim Reaper comes for that ass. I want you guys to stop confusing what's a short-term marriage with long-term marriage and a lifetime marriage. They are not the same things. A short-term marriage is a marriage that is under 10 years. Most of you people cannot stay married for 10 measly years, but here you are thinking about throwing your peace, quiet, and freedom away. Men, get the blood back from your little head into your big head and think. There is no protection from losing your assets anymore. Even the prenup can be contested, which will take tens of thousands of dollars or more to validate. Are you willing to risk losing your resources and kids if you have any? Don't listen and see what happens to you. A long-term marriage is a marriage that lasts more than 10 years, and most people nowadays struggle to reach this point as it 10 years is an accomplishment. Now, in states like California, after you pass the 10-year mark in your marriage and you end up getting divorced, your wife's alimony is inevitable, so you marriage ninjas better be on guard depending on the laws of your state or country. A lifetime marriage means what the vows say, till death do us part, and almost none of you guys watching this video will reach this point. And let's say you beat the odds and the marriage lasts until one or both of you die. Did you have a loving and cheating-free marriage? If not, and either you or your wife cheated, then it was a failure. If you had a dead bedroom, it was a failure. Just understand this and stick it in your brain. The length of a marriage does not equate to a successful marriage. If the marriage ended in divorce, you failed, and if you guys did not honor the marriage vows and stayed faithful, your marriage was a failure, no questions asked. Are we clear on that? Guys, do not get married in your 30s, and I would advise you never to get married. The third mistake that men in their 30s make that destroys their lives is having kids or multiple kids by multiple baby mamas. I don't know if you guys are aware, but it takes on average $250,000 United States dollars to raise a child from age 0 to 18 in the United States. That number will be far more with the incoming recession and rapid inflation rate. So how are you legacy ninjas supporting 2 to 5 kids in this economy? I am baffled about how you guys are making it when I'm struggling out here as a single man. Please let me know how you guys care for so many kids. Not to mention the men on child support who are being dragged into family court for modification because your evil ex needs more money to pay for her hair and nails. Because let's be honest, most women who take child support are not spending most of it on the kids. So you are paying for her peace leave years after you shot up the club. Are you guys still going to say you don't pay for women? Child support sounds like you pay to me. My brothers, you would be a fool to have a kid in this economy or the United States if I'm being honest. If you're not making 6 figures, don't even think about a kid if you don't want them to struggle. And having a kid in America, it's highly likely that you won't see that child grow up in your home from age 0 until they are adults. The mother will likely turn that kid into the state to get child support out of you, so keep that in mind. Some men live in the same neighborhood as their kids, and they still can't see them without supervised visitations. Am I lying? So my advice to you is to not war up in these modern women if you are a broke ninja or you want to raise your own kid. The solutions you have is to hire a surrogate, go overseas and have a kid, but make sure you leave the child and mom over there or adopt a child. That is the best advice that I can give you. Take it or leave it. The choice is yours. Don't come back crying when your so-called ride or die is taking you to court for child support. I already gave you a warning, so it's your choice to listen or roll the dice. If you agree with this message, tap the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe for more hard-hitting RP content. Share the video with a man that needs to hear this message. The links to our PayPal and Cash App are in the description box below to donate to the channel. And remember, gents, peace leave is not that important.